And what you'll find is that when it comes down to relationships, it's communication. I think about 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. And it should be used in that ratio. I find that listening is such a skill not fully developed by so many people out there. And unfortunately, with a lot of the communication that gets done today, a lot of it is just a one-way road. And so note that I'm not a perfect communicator. Note that I'm not a perfect listener. This is the context that I'm coming from in helping myself focus at becoming a proactive listener. So the first thing is 2 eyes. Majority of conversation, majority of verbal communication is actually nonverbal. So what happens in a conversation when you're dealing with other people is that you're going to be able to read a lot of what they're feeling, a lot of their emotion based on their body language, based on things that aren't even coming out of their mouth, not even the tone of their voice, not even the actual content of what they're saying. So when you notice their body language, understand what it might be meaning to you despite what they might be saying. So especially in a business context where they're might be scratching the back of their head and they say, okay, I think you can do it, then what you might want to figure out is what are their doubts? Because obviously this kind of body language and that kind of facial expression, they don't truly believe that it can get achieved. And so you want to just take that step back and say, okay, how can we be on the same page here? And by being able to notice a lot of those nonverbal cues, understand people's body language and how they're holding their posture, what that might mean to you. And understand too, what might be the right time for you to have those kinds of conversations. So many times people want to have these real in-depth conversations and it's just not the appropriate time for those kinds of conversations. The other thing is the 2 ears. I find for a lot of times people actually aren't listening, they're just waiting to talk. So really they have 2 mouths and 1 ear, which would be more like a Picasso painting. The struggle with people wanting to talk is that they're not actually listening to the other person's perspective, the other person's opinion. And so if you find yourself actually thinking when you're having a conversation with someone, what's about to come out of your mouth, then that's where you aren't truly listening. So many times people will tell me, Sherman, I'm horrible at remembering people's names. No, you actually don't actually listen to when you ask someone their name, you don't actually listen to what they actually say. I don't know how many people I've talked to over the years where they've asked me my name. The moment that I've said it, they've already asked me another question. So I know they didn't hear my name. Luckily, I had my name on. Luckily, I'm gonna give them a business card. Now at this particular stage, I just tell them to Google me. I don't give out business cards anymore. That's a topic for a different day. When it comes to this idea of listening, but not waiting to talk, like literally just listening, I want to be able to give as much devotion and attention to that one individual that I'm in a conversation with. At the same time, I remember people will go to big group settings and there's a lot of things happening, right? Let's say you go to a networking event, there's a lot of people going on, a lot of people out there, and have you ever had a conversation with someone and you're talking with them and they keep looking around like the conversation isn't keeping their attention there, and how rude you felt that they were. It is rude. It is. And so, or they're on their phone, right? So like you're talking to them, they're like, and you're like, dude, what is going on over there? What text message, what email is that important that I can't keep your attention face to face? So if you find yourself with some of these bad habits of asking someone their name or asking them a question and not waiting for them to answer, not actually listening to the answer, not giving them your attention, if you find yourself talking with someone and you're on the phone, either tell that person, hold on one second, let me just finish what I'm doing here and then engage. I will tell people that I'm a unitasker, I'm not a multitasker. So that means if I'm writing an email and you come into the office, guess what? Just please wait. Kathy, I will get to you in a second. If I am texting someone right now or I'm emailing somebody from my phone and you come and talk to me, I'll say, Jim, just wait, hold on a second. Let me just get this out. Or else what's going to happen is I'm going to answer you in the email to them and I'm going to write and I'm going to say what I want to say to you and it's going to be in the email. because my mind cannot communicate in two different ways at one time. No matter how good of a multitasker you are, you just can't talk twice at one time. And as people focus on communicating with others, right? So we're back to the idea that we're communicating with this special person that we care about, or that cares about us, or these their 5 closest relationships. What are we doing to listen to them and their needs? Remember, it's not the Sherm show, right? It's not all about me. It truly isn't. It's about them and what value I'm giving them, how much I'm listening to what they're saying and what's important to them. And I find that for you and I, the moment that we start focusing on other people's needs and how we can help them win, they actually help us win. So a lot of times if I'm helping somebody find out what they need to do for their career and give them some advice, I actually find out a lot about myself and maybe my path and about kind of how I can stage things for the future. So remember, when it comes to your listening skills and to communication, 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. Hope that helpful, everybody. Sherm's out.